something that I know a lot of you are really interested in AI careers. And not just, the idea of them, but like how to actually skill up and land one of these, let's be honest, future-proof gigs. You guys have been sending in tons of articles about this AI residency program, and honestly, my interest is officially piqued. So forget just skimming those headlines. Today we're doing a deep dive into what this program actually offers, and more importantly, what it could mean for your AI journey. Now, I know trying to sort through all the online courses and boot camps out there can feel like you're wandering around in the digital desert, which is why for this deep dive, I brought along an expert Sherpa, someone who's not only navigated mountains of AI resources, but actually knows what makes a program stand out from the crowd. Welcome to the show. It's awesome to have you with us.
Thanks for having me. I'm always up for a good deep dive, especially when it comes to separating the AI hype from what actually matters.
Okay, so we know that the AI residency program was put together by Mohammed Arshad. And he clearly doesn't just talk. This is someone who's spent over 20 years in data science and AI. Not to mention, he's helped everyone from like global companies to tiny startups implement AI solutions. Oh, and he even founded his own insanely successful data science training program, Decoding Data Science. You might know it as DDS. So yeah, this isn't some random person throwing together a few slide decks, but you and I both know a fancy resume doesn't necessarily equal a great learning experience. So I was checking out the program details, and the first thing that kind of jumped out at me was the pace. They're promising to take you from zero to pro in 4 months, which, even for someone like you who's been in data science for years, that's got to sound ambitious. What's your take on that timeline?
It's definitely a focused program, especially given how much ground there is to cover with AI. But the key here, and I think what makes it work, is that they're not trying to cram everything about AI into those 4 months. Instead, they've chosen a really specific skill set to focus on, and it's all about the stuff that's most in demand right now. We're talking about building things like smarter chatbots, those tools that can create like personalized content, even the AI that's completely revolutionizing how scientific research is done. They're going deep on generative AI. That's the real cutting edge.
Okay, so that makes sense. They're not trying to be everything to everyone. And when you look at the curriculum, it's all about Python for AI, Git, and GitHub. Even something called MLOps, which, I'll be honest, kind of sounds like a futuristic robot army.
It does have a bit of a sci-fi ring to it, but MLOps is really just the DevOps of machine learning. So imagine you've built this amazing AI model, but you also need to deploy it, maintain it, update it, all that stuff. That's where MLOps comes in. It's about making sure your AI creations can actually function in the real world.
So, like, not just building a cool robot, but making sure it can survive out in the wild.
Exactly.
So it's not just about the tech skills, it's about the bigger picture of actually putting AI to work.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah, and that's actually a perfect segue into the next thing I wanted to mention.
Okay, give me.
So they've got this whole thing about learning tracks, which is where it gets really interesting if you're thinking, okay, this all sounds amazing, but how does it actually fit into my career goals?
Yeah, because not everyone listening is trying to be like the next AI coding whiz.
Exactly. Some people listening are probably thinking about launching their own AI-powered startup, or maybe they work at an agency and want to offer AI solutions to their client.
Right. Like, the possibilities are kind of endless with AI right now.
Totally. So to address that, they've got three main tracks: one for job seekers, one for founders, and one for agencies.
Oh, wow. Okay. So no matter where you're coming from, whether you're building a portfolio from scratch,
Yeah.
or maybe you're trying to integrate AI into a product you're already building, they've got a path for you.
Yeah.
That's really smart. It's like they actually thought about how people are using these skills in the real world.
Yeah, absolutely. And since we're talking about real-world application, they're really big on the hands-on stuff.
Okay, so what does that look like?
Yeah.
Because anyone can say they're hands-on, but
You're not just sitting through lectures and taking quizzes. You're actually building real AI projects.
which, let's be honest, is the fun part.
Right. And to help you do that, they actually give you access to cloud credits.
Oh, that's huge. I remember when I was first learning to code, just getting the development environment set up was like a nightmare. Having those resources right out of the gate could be a game changer for someone just starting out.
100%. It removes all those roadblocks and lets you just focus on building cool stuff with AI.
So they're giving you the tools, they're giving you the hands-on experience. Anything else? Because this is starting to sound a little too good to be true.
Well, on top of all that, they offer something they call the AI Guild.
Okay, AI Guild. Sounds intense. What is that?
It's basically access to this huge library of advanced content, like in-depth tutorials, all kinds of resources that they say is worth over $4,000 on its own.
$4,000. Okay, so we've got laser focus on the in-demand skills, practical projects, cloud credits, a massive library of advanced content. I mean, is there a catch?
Well, like any good mystery, we need to look for proof.
Right. Anyone can make promises, but did they actually deliver? Did this AI residency program actually help anyone get results? Like, are there actual success stories?
Anyone can slap a testimonial on a website, but yeah, they actually do have some pretty compelling stories.
Okay, lay it on me. What kind of results are we talking about?
Well, first off, they mentioned having folks from over 50 countries who've gone through the program, which is pretty impressive.
Global reach for sure. But did they highlight any individual stories, names or specifics? Because that's what I'm really curious about.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, there was this one story about a woman named Sophia.
Okay, tell me more about Sophia.
Well, she was already working in tech, but wanted to transition into a more AI-focused role. And apparently she used the program's career guidance to kind of figure out, like, where her strengths were and how to position herself.
And it worked out?
Yeah, she ended up landing a really great AI role, so that's a pretty solid win.
It is. But you mentioned earlier that they have those different learning tracks, right? Like one for founders, one for agencies.
Exactly. And they actually highlighted success stories from those tracks, too. Like, there was this guy, Faiz, who took the data analyst track.
Okay, so what was Fee's story? How did the program help him?
He said the big thing for him was the hands-on projects, how those helped him take those more abstract data concepts and turn them into real-world skills.
Which is key. It's like that moment when you're learning a new language and suddenly you're not just conjugating verbs, you're actually understanding a conversation.
Totally. And it sounds like Faiz had that same kind of aha moment.
Love it. Any other standout stories from the program?
Yeah, they even shared a story about a guy named Adib.
Adib. Okay.
Yeah.
What did he do?
He took what he learned in the program, and he actually won first place at an AI hackathon.
Whoa, hold up. Winning a hackathon is no joke. That's not just understanding the concepts, that's building something innovative, something that stands out from the crowd.
For sure. And it shows he was able to apply what he learned in a high-pressure, competitive environment.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so we've covered a ton of ground here about this AI residency program. We talked about their focus on in-demand skills, the hands-on projects, the cloud credits, that awesome AI Guild resource library. It's clear this program is designed to get you up and running with AI fast. But let's be real. This kind of training is an investment, right? So did the material you looked at mention anything about the cost?
You're not wrong. It's not exactly pocket change. But the cool thing is, they do offer a scholarship.
Okay, now we're talking. Details, please. What kind of scholarship are we looking at?
It's a limited time thing, but they're offering a 50% scholarship right now.
50%? That's huge.
The code to use is scholarship. You can just punch that in on their website.
Perfect. We will definitely include that code in the show notes so you don't have to rewind this whole episode to find it. But seriously, folks, a 50% scholarship to learn from a leader in the field with a proven track record of helping people launch AI careers. If this is something you're thinking about, now is the time to jump on it.
Think about everything we've discussed today. What really strikes me is this. Learning AI, it's not just about adding another bullet point to your resume, right? It's about positioning yourself at the forefront of a technological revolution.
I completely agree. We're talking about tools that could fundamentally change the way we work, the way we live, how we solve some of the biggest problems facing our world.
Exactly. And what's so exciting is that programs like the one we talked about today, they make that future feel accessible. They take these incredibly complex ideas and give you a clear path to master them, to turn your AI dreams into reality. So as we wrap up today's deep dive, I want to leave you with this important. What will you create with these skills? What problem will you solve? The future of AI isn't set in stone. It's being written right now. And you have the power to be a part of that story. That's it for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us as we explore the exciting world of AI and the AI Residency Program.